What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another weekly episode of Almost Patriots, and we are here live in New York City. I am in Soho with my buddy Chris Elvis, and we are here seeing Mike. Mike is up in, where do the white people live? Greenwich or something like that?
You're such a clown. I'm in Connecticut right now.
Connecticut. Okay, I wasn't too far off.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't. Greenwich is in Connecticut.
Right. Do you guys
Yep.
get subsidies for Botox up there?
No, there's probably more Botox up here than the city. These are like
Yeah.
trophy wives that live in multi-million-dollar homes.
Absolutely. I think I flew over some of those homes. Oh, damn. Chris is just shining me with the light, trying to get me all. Your
No,
camera's
Chris,
all
look
fucked
at-
up, Chris.
I don't know what
Yeah.
just happened.
It
I
has to
didn't touch anything.
refocus. It has to refocus.
Yeah, you got to
Chris,
refocus.
get your shit together. I can't see you. You're blurry.
There's no focusing option on the camera. All right.
Move
It's
close
either
to
on
the
or
camera.
off.
Move close to the camera and then come back. I can't see. Chris, you're gone. What are we gonna do?
Yeah,
Chris?
I think you need to,
Oh.
like, wipe it.
Yeah, clean
No,
it.
it was just fine 5 seconds ago.
Okay, move
Now it's
closer.
then just-
Move close to the
whatever
camera
you just
and then
did made
move
it
further
worse.
away. Yeah, move close and then move away. Move close and then move away. Put your face close and then move back.
There's just not.
I
enough
want to thank
lighting
our
in here.
sponsor, Scorpion Percussion.
That's my job right there. Yeah. So how was?
I
the
mean,
city
that's
for
really
you?
sharp right there.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's doing that. Hold on, Chris.
Stop. What are you doing?
I'm just trying to fix it because it looks like
I thought you
absolute
two were in a
crap.
different location. Oh, there you go,
No,
Chris.
it's
I see
just
you
the
perfect.
lighting.
There you go.
It's just
All right,
it's
now
just
we're
the lighting.
rolling.
Now
That's
we're rolling.
America.
I apologize, everybody. Chris and Ricardo took forever to get their cameras and everything set up. So
Chris, you gotta
we're
mute,
working
too.
through some- we're working on some technical things right
I'm
now.
not on mute. If I am, that's on your end.
I'm unmuting. All right, perfect, guys. So we're in New York. We're south of Houston. Is that where we are? Soho?
Houston, yeah, Soho.
Soho. And we came out here for the Capitals Rangers games, guys. And let me tell you, it was a fantastic show. The Capitals in
fantastic
overtime.
game.
Yeah, they took it. They took it. I mean, the Rangers played really well, but we got to go to Madison Square Garden last night. It was awesome. Mike did nothing to help us as a host, but Chris did a great
Yeah,
job
I
getting
told you how to
seats.
get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a lot of fun, man. I mean, it was really good. It was raining like cats and dogs.
Mhm.
Chris, mute.
Yeah.
He's not
So-
listening. He's not listening.
Yeah, so pretty much basically the game was a pretty game. It was 2-1 until the third period, and then the Capitals scored, which was depressing as a Rangers fan. So watching that happen, Ovechkin scored, and then in OT the Rangers went down. Great game though overall. The arenas, obviously everybody knows if you've been to Madison Square Garden, it's a great arena, a lot of fun, good environment, especially for hockey games. They do a lot. Celebrity Row was crazy last night. Ricardo and Chris were making fun of the celebrities because they were from some no-name fucking TV show on, I think, MGM.
Bro, it was it was Low from what's it called? Low from the Hills. From the Hills.
Oh, that's
the
right, that's
California
right,
show.
The Hills,
Low was there
yeah.
from the Hills. Yeah.
forgot
Lauren.
about
I think
that.
her name might be Lauren. I'm not sure that her parents baptized her Low, but I think that that's what she goes by.
I think that's her stage name. I think her stage name is Low.
Her stage name.
Lolo. Yeah, the Lolo.
Low. I think it might be Lolo. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say though that Ricardo got a little tipsy and was so loud talking about his deepest, darkest fantasies, which made the people that were sitting in front of us uncomfortable. While me and Chris were kind of
And those people were your parents?
Wrong. Those people were not my parents. Me and Chris were trying to distance ourselves away from you if you couldn't or you didn't notice. But the one thing I got pissed off about both of you, motherfuckers, you come to the city and you root for the Washington Capitals. That's like if I came to Indianapolis, okay, and you guys and the Giants are playing. I'm not yelling and screaming for the Giants. I'm keeping a low key. You guys yelling, "Let's go Washington! Let's go Capitals! Let's go!"
I thought I did a pretty good job of keeping it low key.
You did.
Yeah.
You did, Mister Fucking Loudmouth over there.
Yeah, but I mean, Ricardo's that's his mo. I mean, what do you expect?
Nah, I'm just.
I mean, like, you telling me that. Here's what I hear. You tell me that I came to New York, the city of loud motherfuckers, and I was too loud for the New Yorker.
You yelling.
Is that really
you're
what was
yelling?
going on?
You're yelling for the Capitals the entire fucking game. Like, shut up.
Of course I am. I'm from Washington.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
Mike.
messing around. I just didn't
I
like
mean,
the fact
your
that we
parents
blew
didn't
the
want me
game.
to tell you this.
Oh, here we go. Here
But
comes
you're
another
adopted.
joke about my. Here we go. I knew that. I knew Ricardo with his jokes today. He's rolling. He's rolling, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
Fucking
because
Chris
I'm
is
a
over
good
there.
hour and a half south in the city from you.
I don't think it's an hour and a half. I think it's about 40 minutes.
Figuratively and literally, he's rolling.
Yeah. Chris over here. You all right over there? You look uncomfortable as shit with your technical issues.
He looks red.
Ricardo had a plan and it fell apart, so I had to.
Yeah, it didn't work. No, I just can't do it. It's really difficult to do the multi-mic, multicam into one stream without a switcher. Like, I have a switcher. I just don't want to bring a switcher around.
I thought
I
that's
got
what you
you.
bought today. Isn't that what you bought today?
I bought this so that we could use this and then the software to do the other thing, but I don't really know how to use the software very well. I hopefully will have it figured out by next time.
So let me ask you a question. So for the day and a half that you've been to the city, how you guys enjoying it?
I'm having a great time. Chris, I think he tried once or twice to use the bathroom in multiple places, which he really enjoyed. The Spanish Market was, I think, my favorite bathroom break for you.
It was a nice bathroom. It was a nice bathroom.
I'm right. So, because like you know how we had talked about last time, how
bathroom was.
right, how we were judging bathrooms, and so like this is what we did. So Chris was like, "This is what I wanted to do." I was like, Chris is like, "I want to go to GMC because it's imperative for my survival that I get some GNC. So it's imperative for my survival that I get some creatine gummies." And so the only GNC by wherever the fuck we were was like in Penn Station, but like in the bottom of Penn Station, like in the train station, like in between two fucking trains. Like we had to like
Sounds about
Oh,
ask a
right.
cop to show us. We walked for circles forever, and then finally got.
Well,
his
we had to wait
creatine
for one
gummy.
train to go by and then cross the train tracks, and then yeah, it was.
And then he got his creatine gummies. And then I went to B&H Photo to buy this mic and see if I could figure out how to do a switcher. But, either way, it was kind of fun.
Fail.
Nice.
was a fail.
So Ricardo,
I
you were
think I
in
sound
Times
great,
Square
though.
today. Yeah, your mic sounds pretty fucking good right now.
My mic sounds nice. Check. Chris needs a
Um,
camera.
Yeah, he does. But let me ask you a question.
Oh,
How'd
it's
you
just
like
fine.
Times Square?
It was obnoxious like last time I was there.
Oh, you went and met him in Times Square?
It's my fourth time to Times Square.
Yeah. I took him up to Junior's. All right, shout out to Junior's Deli. This hat. Brooklyn Deli, Junior's Deli, up in Times Square, open 2017. Shout out to my boy Jared. That's the man. If you come to New York and you go to Times Square, go see Jared at Junior's Deli. They had a great deli, nice bathroom. And so I ate there. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. Chris
You didn't go to
joined
Cat's
me.
Deli? You didn't go to
He
Cat's
had some
Deli?
eggs. And then my buddy, the guy Jared, said he didn't understand or he didn't know where Nolita's was or Hustlers. He's like, the Hustler store? Get that light out of my face, man. What are you doing, dog? Are you a cop?
Yeah. What the fuck are you talking about right now? Nah, Hustlers is on the west side, baby. The Hustlers Club on the west side. The best strip club in the city right now. Hustlers is trash.
Other than your
Sapphires.
mom's house.
Well, she's outside of the city, so that doesn't
Shout out
apply.
Scorpion Percussion.
Shout out
Your
Scorpion
mom, where she
Percussion.
live at?
None
Where's
of
your
your
mom
fucking
live at?
business. None of your fucking business.
I want
No.
the address. Come on, just throw it out.
And then we came back
So-
here to, hey, I want to give a shout out to Nolita Express. This hostel is dope in Soho. We came back here. We went across the street. I bought a pair of silver shoes from the camper store, and then went to
Even
a
your
corner
silver
bar.
fucking
Ugliest shoes I've ever
shoes.
seen in my life.
I love it. I buy things
horrible.
just to make Chris angry.
Dude, they're the
And me.
ugliest shoes I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Are you wearing them? Don't. Oh my God, those are some of the ugliest
Yeah.
things I've ever seen.
Good.
I know that. By the way, that's not a tumor on the bottom of the shoe. It's not a tumor. It's
Yeah.
not a tumor.
But anyways, they're comfy. Shout out, camper.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So, going back to what I was saying, if you want to go to a strip club, you got to go Sapphires, baby.
No.
Sapphires. I know you do. Shut the fuck up.
Hey,
I've seen the strip club.
is
I hate
Scores
strip
still a strip club here? Is that a strip club?
Yeah,
Scores?
Scores are still there. Yeah, Scores are still
Yeah,
there.
yeah. That we walked by it on the High Line thing when you like walk
Fun.
on the.
Fun fact:
Yeah.
I went to high school with the owner of Scores' kids.
You stripped in high school? Is that what you
No,
were saying?
that's not what
Did
I
you
said.
say
Oh,
that you
Yeah, I
and
stripped in high
Zelensky wrote a musical
Here we
together in high
Here
school?
we go. No, Zelensky. Yo, did you ever see those videos
Mike's
of him?
hills are alive with the sound of.
Nuclear power plants.
What are you talking about right now? You
Just
two
making up
clearly had
musical songs.
some fucking. You guys clearly
Delicious
drank
steak.
today.
Delicious steak.
See, some of us had to work and make money. I
did
just want to
have-
let you know.
I worked.
Delicious espresso martini.
I think Chris and I probably made more impressions than you did today.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, totally.
I mean-
we did podcasts,
Yeah.
stuff, and then
He
we
told
networked-
everyone at
we
this
networked,
Lucky's
and
place about everything,
We
and
did some
you bought an ad?
strategic. We did some long-term strategic planning. I mean, we killed it.
Okay, good. I'm
That
happy
was
to hear
fun.
that. Thank you for texting me today and let me know about any of those plans.
I
guess you
did,
guys were
I did,
working-
we did.
guess-
but since
I guess you're kicking me out. I
since-
guess you're kicking me out by not.
so I'm
sharing
gonna have to
anything.
just. This is gonna be a good time to start this. All right. So last time I came to New York
Anyway,
was
Chris,
about
what were you
7
saying,
months
Chris?
ago.
I couldn't hear you,
Shut
Chris.
up,
What were you
Mike. Shut up, Mike. And so I came, and so I'm gonna give a shout out to Music Is for Lovers. Shout out Jimbo James. I
Yeah.
came because Music Is for Lovers threw a party at the One Hotel. I was lucky enough to play. Threw a great set down in front of the Brooklyn Bridge. I invited
was a great
Mike. He
time.
was there.
It was a great time.
I was here for like 4 days, and Mike was pretty much hung out for like 6 hours. And I don't
think
know if
four.
you know this, Mike,
4 or
but it's a
5.
long fucking flight, right? And so, like, if I'm flying halfway across the country, you should be taking some fucking days off work, bro, and hanging out with your buddies because, like, you know what? We were hanging out all day.
4 days. I took
And
4 days off for the
look.
norovirus, dude.
You are a bitch, is what I'm saying.
Wow.
Take a
You
day
know,
off work. Take a day off work. Your friends fly halfway across the country, and you're doing depositions for insurance. Who the fuck cares? Fuck insurance.
You think I don't want to take days off? You think I enjoy while you guys are walking around hanging out? You think I enjoy being in an office?
Yes. We make
Yes,
you like
yeah,
that,
absolutely.
right?
I
Oh,
definitely, I
okay.
agree with Chris. I think you really like it, dude. I've known you. I
Yeah.
think you really, I think you love the torture. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I love the
okay.
torture.
We're here for you,
If
buddy.
I-
We're here.
Because
we're
if
here to
you
point these
didn't,
out.
because if you were happy, then you wouldn't have anything to complain about, and then you wouldn't have anything to talk about.
I'm done.
I'm just kidding.
Next topic.
All right. Anyways,
No.
guys.
No, we're still in New York, dude. This is great. We've been talking to people, and enjoying ourselves. I feel like there's a huge difference, obviously, since the last time I was here in 2008 versus today. But also, there's a massive difference. Like, I mean, obviously, there should be between San Diego and Indianapolis and LA. They're all obviously different places, but holy fuck, dude, it's so expensive here. Like, I thought San Diego was
I told
expensive,
you.
but New York City, man, holy shit, it's
Ricardo bought what was it? He had we bought 3 drinks yesterday at the Madison Square Garden.
yeah, $80.
And it was like
$75.
Yeah.
$75.
it was like yeah, it
good.
was he's showing off his hair, but his camera right now is like really slow.
$75.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah, it's expensive, and you haven't even gone out to like any like really of the nice restaurants, like the hospitality restaurants that everybody talks about.
I can't.
You can't imagine how expensive
not the
that
light.
is.
It's your camera.
Is
Yeah,
it
it's
really?
both of you. It's your Wi-Fi.
There's something
Um,
coming. You're like,
But yeah, it was $75 to get 3 margaritas at the Ranger Stadium, which is fine. What?
Yeah.
I can't. I don't know what that means.
That means don't put it right here. Put it right here.
Put it right here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly. $75 to get like literally 3 margaritas, which is fine. I mean, like they were really good, and the Caps won, so I think that we did really well.
No, it was
Yeah.
fun. We had a great time. Talking to people in New York, there's definitely a different vibe here than. I mean, obviously, last time I was here, I was in my 20s, so who knew? I had no idea. I was clueless in life, but now definitely can see a difference between the vibe in San Diego and Indianapolis and New York City. Definitely a clear difference for sure. But everybody's got their own thing, but I think the people here just have different problems, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Ricardo,
like,
last night you were talking about walking around. You wanted to sell your place in San Diego, or you wanted to move here. Explain your feelings last night. Why you felt that way?
I think it was mostly due to no. So like I grew up in DC, and like I love San Diego. I mean, like there's definitely a lot of things about San Diego I think that are like excellent, especially the weather and like being a musician and like being able to do like and live that lifestyle. Like it's very nice, man. Like it's very comfortable. But like one of the things that I like about New York is that it's a little bit more of like I have to say like I don't know, man. Like, first of all, it's older, and second of all,
Yeah.
it was like founded like on much different type of what do you want to call it? Like joie de vivre, right? Like, so going out west was like kind of like everyone's running away from stuff. They're like escaping industrialization. They're trying to strike gold, right? And so there's a lot of these entrepreneurs and like fast money and GTR or whatever. And like I think with New York, and Chris said it a little bit pretty interesting earlier, where he said it's like I think there's more people that are worried about all of that stuff, but are also dedicated to trying to make things better, or like dedicated to making like things excellent, right? Like okay, cool. Like I want to be well off, but I want to do it because I'm the best at sardines or like whatever. And on the West Coast, I think it's like, hey man, I would show off my testicles if somebody gave me $1 million. And so like I think there's lack of shame, that kind of like goes with the West Coast, but it goes with that whole smoking weed and boobies and everything. I just think that there's a different mindset on the East Coast compared to the West Coast, and I like that. I also
Yeah.
like that New York is, it's a city where there's all sorts of different neighborhoods that are they're very socioeconomically different, right? And I think like in like somewhere like San Diego, like everything is very geographically like spread out. Like exactly where certain type of people live. You go to North County, it's like zombies, like white people's zombies, right? So like, and you go to downtown or like wherever it is, like you have a very specific demographic in each area. And I think that like here, a lot of those people mix.
Yeah, I could tell you, New York. The unique thing about the city, just in general, and the boroughs, they all have different feelings to them. Like, and the one thing I will say about New York City is Soho is different than the Upper West Side. Upper West Side is different from Midtown East or Midtown West. You got all different demographics, and they're known for different things. Like, you go down to Chelsea, the area is Chelsea is like popping. It's good. It's nice. It's fun. It's got good restaurants. It's got clubs. It's got everything that you like really want. And then you go to Hudson Yards. Hudson Yards is like the brand new, like they're calling it like the new Times Square. I think it's better personally. I think the way that they did all this construction, shout out to Related, which is Stephen Ross's company, it's phenomenal over there. I think it's going to take some time though to get more and more people to go over in that area.
Where was that? Like, so the Hudson, so we took the High Line. Is like the Hudson Yards, is that over by the Chelsea Market? Like, where were we?
It's on 34th. It's on 34th. I
Okay.
forgot what street it stops at, but I think you can take the High Line all the way up into it. It's like the brand new complex near the Javits Center.
Okay, I think we popped off a little bit early today. Like off the
Yeah.
High
Well,
Line.
yeah, it was freezing.
It was
We were
freezing.
cold.
It was freezing cold, dude.
It was like 50 degrees over here. I don't was it like
No, it was
I was
windy.
not-
No,
And
I mean like when you're in between buildings and it's windy, it was
Yeah.
good.
it was rough.
Yeah, I'll say this though. Yeah, so you guys really like Chris. It's been a while for you, Ricardo. You were here last year, I remember, for the.
No.
Stop talking
it
about my
wasn't
sex
me.
life. All right.
Huh?
What?
What were you saying?
Just kidding. Keep
Um,
going.
yeah. So the last time Ricardo was here was during the summer. So right now he's here during the winter, which is kind of like it. Obviously, it's a different season. The weather's different, so you can see the difference of kind of like New York when you're outside when the weather's warm. And people are out. Rooftops are busy. You know, everybody's
Totally.
walking around. And in the winter, it's just like,
100%.
okay,
I agree with you.
we're wearing
Agree
our
with you.
Timberlands, we're wearing our North Faces, we're just bundling up.
So speaking of North Face, I got to tell you that Chris had a very disappointing instance. So like we're rolling around wherever this is, not Chelsea, but Soho, right? We're at Soho. We're on Prince Street, Spring Street. Wonderful place, guys. I really like this neighborhood a lot. And Chris was like, "Yo, my ears are cold. Like we should go and get a beanie hat." And I was like, "All right, dope. I already had a beanie hat, came prepared." And so like Chris points across the street and he's like, "Hey, look, luckily there's a North Face store right there." Like all cocky. You know, like he's like, "Yeah, well, you know what? I'm about to get a really good beanie." And we walk over and he's like
Cocky.
walking around the block a couple times and there's no North Face store. It's just an empty retail lot with a whole bunch of North Face advertising on it. And Chris is like, "I can't figure out my way. This is really fucked up. They tricked me." It was hilarious. I'm sorry. It was really funny.
Yeah, it happens.
That's not how it happened, but that's how it
I
happened.
think exactly how it happened.
Yeah. Well, at least you guys are enjoying yourself a little bit and you're seeing the city and kind of taking it in.
Well, we
Yeah.
poured a lot of alcohol on the floor at a bunch of different bars because every time we do, we'd have a drink. We have a drink for our buddy that's not there, so we've just been pouring drinks on the floor of like a bunch of random bars all day today.
Why? Somebody died?
'Cause somebody's, not here. So,
Somebody died?
Somebody's hairline died. No. Just kidding.
wow. What are you trying to do? Darth Vader impression? Keep that shit away from your mouth.
Sorry. No, I'm just joking. You died because you're supposed to come and hang out with us, Mike.
Okay, I got it. For the fucking 15th time, you've made it well known about how you feel and what you feel.
Clearly,
Unfortunately, the
clearly not
reality.
enough.
Yeah, clearly, keep going. All right, you got it. I get it. You want me to come to the fucking city? I get it.
No, we're just,
Unfortunately,
just letting you know that we've been doing a lot of alcohol abuse today, pouring out drinks for our friend that's not here.
Yeah,
So-
thank you. I appreciate it. Okay.
Yeah, the bartender's like,
Okay.
"What the fuck are you doing?" We're like, "No, it's for our friend." And they're like, "Oh, okay. Is he dead?" We're like, "No, he's not dead, but he's not here." So
Yeah. No, I got it. I got it.
He's at a dead position or something like that.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, it's cool.
well, thank you for having us in your city and only seeing us for a little bit. So we'll be
Wow.
I see you tomorrow. I'm going to see you tomorrow. And I'm coming out all Saturday to
Yeah.
see you. So,
I can't
okay.
wait.
We're just messing with you, man. We had to give you a little bit of.
I'm looking forward to it.
No,
I'm
it-
looking forward to it.
I know
Yeah,
you're busy,
clearly it
Mike.
obviously is. Clearly, it's obviously on your minds and it's bothering you guys. So I get it.
No,
I understand.
No. I will say, last
No,
time I
it-
came, I was a
it's
little bit
clearly obvious.
upset that at least you got to see my set, which I really liked. But then I was happy because you came out to Indianapolis, and like I was like, okay, that's really dope. Because
Yeah, that was dope. That was
yeah, that was cool, man. So like it kind of like zeroed it out. And like this time you've been awesome. You were here at last night at the game. I know you got to work and you'll be with us tomorrow. We're just giving you a hard time. But I did miss you the first time, when I was here.
Gotcha. I'll make it noted. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow and then Saturday.
I'm gonna try to get up and go to the gym, but we'll see what happens with Ricardo tonight.
Yeah, go to Equinox.
Did you see how he like easily he's like, hey, look, man, I'm gonna try to do something responsible, but I'm gonna really blame the outcome on Ricardo in case I don't do
Yeah.
something responsible.
Because if I don't go to sleep early, it's your fault. So
That's true. I'm tough. I'm bad news.
although
Which-
right now
which gym
I
you
don't
going
wanna
to?
go outside. It's cold as shit. I'm just gonna go to my hotel gym.
No, we're gonna go to you're a Lifetime member, right?
I mean, yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah,
if
we're
I
good
can
Lifetime.
I can't just walk
Lifetime
into
Times
any
Square.
Lifetime in the world. I don't have that kind of access.
Yeah, you can.
I thought you had a passport.
Yeah, he does.
You have the passport membership?
Maybe I do. I don't know. I have to look.
He does. We're definitely not going to that what is that one? The Equinox one? I don't know what
Equinox,
the fuck that is. Yeah, that sounds.
That's in
that's a
Hudson
good
Yards.
one.
It's
They have one
pretty
in
dope.
L.A. Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, the Equinox in Hudson Yards is pretty dope.
Hmm.
Are there any Lifetimes in the city?
Yeah,
Yeah, there's one in
yeah, right
Times
by
Square.
MSG.
Oh, okay.
It's like a block.
Oh
From
no, you're right.
MSG.
You're right. Is it MSG, not Times Square, right?
Yeah, yeah,
MSG.
it's like,
Yeah.
right, it's like a block from MSG.
Every time you say MSG, it makes me want to order Chinese food.
Every time you put
Yeah.
your mic inside your mouth, I want to smack you in the face. Just hold it like 6 inches from right.
want to hold it. Is that okay? Can you hear me now? Is this
I can't. No, I can't.
You can't? Okay. Well, you can go eat balls. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's perfect. It's got to be like 6 inches.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect. Okay, so we were talking earlier. We were walking down the street, and Ricardo and I were talking about how I thought it was asinine that people walk on those metro grates just like haphazardly. And I was like, why would you do that? I mean, the chances of you potentially falling on top of the metro are higher than they would if you just stood like 2 feet to the left or right. And then Ricardo was like, oh yeah, that's how my dad was. Like he would like give me this whole lecture about how like, oh, your chances of dying are like increased. So like, why would you do it? And Ricardo would be like, okay, cool. And then I started thinking about how I think collectively as human beings, we have a problem with how we communicate to others, and how I think sometimes we assume that the way that we're communicating is effective to other people because of like that's how we would want to be communicated with. And I feel like sometimes we like are ineffective in our communication because of the assumptions that we make. And the love languages come to mind when I think about that. What is it? 5 love languages? Sort of same.
5 love language? I don't think it's 5 love languages.
Is it 7?
I mean,
I think the book is 5 love languages, but I could be wrong. Could be 7. But
break-ins fighting is my love language.
well, clearly like real love languages, not made up ones.
Mayonnaise, is that a love language?
Could be. I mean, for some people, I mean, it's kind of gross, but
I mean, I think Mike feels like he's watching all the Disney characters.
I'm just taking it. I'm listening to Chris's statement and what he's talking about.
anyways, I was just curious what you guys thought about it. Like, do you feel like sometimes people try to tell you things or communicate things to you, and you're like, kind of like, what the fuck? But maybe later on, after you kind of absorb the information, you realize that you understand where they're coming from. But and how many times you feel like you've tried to tell somebody something and they were like, what are you talking about? And it could be that you're trying to explain it to them in a way that you think makes sense, but it makes no sense to them. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys even understand what I'm trying to say, but
Look at Ricardo shaking his head. No, he goes no.
I feel like that's happening now. Like I don't get what you're trying to... No, I think we talked about it earlier, and I think it had a lot to do with sort of like, and I don't know if this is everyone, right? But I mean like specifically for Chris, like, so there's like ways to connect with people, right? And I think that a lot of that is surfing, and for me, it's very dynamic, right? So it's like one thing, one tidbit, and then like a response or reaction, and then you judge that, and then you go from direction from there. And so like it's just kind of like a series of back and forths is the best way to say it, but each back and forth is weighted, right? And so like for me, like that's kind of how I gauge everything, and I think the slower and the more organic that it happens, the easier it is to sort of get a feel for the back and forth. And so, but I think a lot of people, and I think what Chris is talking about, have, because there's a lot of information that people are getting not from other human beings, right? And then that stuff is being processed at a much higher rate, right? And plus, like, dialogue is very important because what dialogue does is it slows the rate of thinking down to the pace of communication. And so what that means is like, yes, I can think very fast, but if I want more than one person to understand what I'm thinking about, I can only think as fast as I can communicate, right? Does that make sense? And so like I think a lot of people, because of the way they're absorbing information, are taking on strategies to try to connect with people that aren't necessarily the most effective, right? You know, whether it's like over or under, but it's not in the middle of the spectrum. And I think that this may be something that could be exhibited a lot by, you know, some of the divisiveness. Obviously, the topics have a lot to do with it, but when people are getting hyper stimulated by information, and then especially when you're talking to a group like we are right now, there's always a couple people that are waiting to talk, and some of those people may not have the discipline to listen, and they may just be thinking about what it is they want to say when the other person's stopped talking, and that takes away from the discussion, and it takes away from the connection too.
I agree with you 100%. I feel like a lot of people do that just in general. Instead of actually taking in all the information, they're formulating their response and they miss out on a lot of things. Like, for example, if Chris, like your aviation, right? If you're talking to me about aviation and things that are going on, like, for example, when we were talking about the Washington, D.C. situation with the helicopter, you know, I have no idea when it comes to aviation and the process and what you're supposed to do. Obviously, that's your specialty. Most people don't actually try to retain the information that you're explaining. They're thinking about the next question to ask you because they've lost interest within the first couple of seconds. They'll ask the questions, they lose interest, and then they're like, okay, I think I got my answer. When in fact, it might be a deeper answer than people think. It's like they just take away the high level, the high surface stuff, and then don't take anything that's like deeper. The same thing is like with newspapers, right? That's why there's the headlines. Everybody reads the headlines, but they don't read the actual information in the story. A lot of people do that. So it's the same thing when you're having conversations with people. It's a similar aspect.
Wait, you trying to say I'm boring? That's rude.
No, what I'm trying to say is I used it to correlate how people are. So, like, you talk about aviation, something that I don't know. It interests me because of the story. But most people, after the first couple of seconds where you're talking about aviation and how it is to fly, they hear the first like couple of sentences and they don't really digest all the other information that you say behind it.
Yeah, I mean, but that's hard sometimes. I mean, you ever been in a conversation with somebody about anything? I mean, even if it's something you're an expert in, it's hard to, absorb what they're saying and then somehow, formulate a response that, and of course, that it's going to have your bias, right? I mean, and I think a lot of times we're doing it just so that we can maintain the facade that the other person like feels that we're knowledgeable enough or intelligent enough to at least maintain the conversation. So I mean, can't tell you how many times I've been in a conversation where I'm like listening and I'm like, oh my God, there's like, because they keep going on. Ricardo does this all the time. He'll like just go on kind of like a tangent, and it's not a bad thing. This is not a knock on Ricardo, but like I'll have 4 or 5 responses to like what he's talking about. By the time we get to the end, I can only remember a couple of them, right? Mm-hmm. And so then the conversation will get steered on the 1 or 2 facets of whatever topic Ricardo ranted about. But if I could remember all 5, we would be talking about, who knows where the conversation would lead. Yeah. And so I think a lot of times you like try to hold on to that one idea that you think is really important, and you just kind of let the other 4 go or whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes you can't hold on to it, and it just kind of ends up being the last one that you can remember. I don't know. I'm sure there's tons of research about how to have.
Hey guys, I want to give you guys. Breaking.
Shout out Scorpion Percussion.
No. I wasn't going there. Breaking news: Epstein files redaction sparks debate on national security and transparency. Attorney General Pam Bondi announced that parts of the Jeffrey Epstein files will be released with redactions made to safeguard grand jury information, confidential witnesses, due to national security concerns. This has sparked public and social media speculation regarding the reasons behind. Yeah. So one of the elements they're saying is there's possible Epstein connections to the intelligence agency.
No, you don't say.
Yeah. What do you say to that? Well, that's interesting. I don't think we're ever going to see the real thing there.
Yeah. So pretty much they're going to redact information. I assume that, like last time we were talking about it, we assumed they were going to go through a process and make sure that, like, certain people's privacy is protected and certain information is protected. this goes along that same line. We knew this, but I until these documents get released, you don't know what the fuck is going on, and it's just like this game over and over.
Yeah, I mean, but honestly, who the fuck cares? And I'm not saying like I just it's for at this point, like I mean, like if I because here's what I'm going to tell you. I've been in enough toxic relationships to let you know
Here we go.
that this type of back and forth BS is not worth your attention. And so like either you're not going to release anything, cool. I'll let me know when it's out. Otherwise, like don't care. Like I have the same view that Elon does on aliens. Like when they show up, let me know, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like when the shit's out there, let me know. Otherwise, like there's all the speculation, everything, like it's all just distraction and it's a waste of energy for me. I'm so tired of it.
Yeah,
There's so
I
much
think-
BS out there. Yeah.
I think our entire audience is just on pins and needles about how your former relationships relate to national security and the Epstein list. I want to touch on that a little bit more. Can we elaborate? maybe?
Yeah. Do you have redacted files as well?
Yeah.
No
how
redacted
is
files.
How is your ex? How's your string of exes have anything to do with Epstein? Curious.
I mean, like
You
I
have an
never
island
put
you're not
those
telling
two.
us about?
No, I wish I did. If I had an island, I would not be on this podcast. But no, I don't know. Just I'm letting you know that basically when the information gets placed out there and then like taken back, that it's never a good thing. And I don't think these guys are ever really serious. And like regardless of what's promised before an election, there's usually less than like a 50% rate of of completing whatever's been put out there. And
So how often have you been in a relationship where the list of secrets that your ex held on to that she kept telling you that she was going to share and didn't share, and so you found yourself in this weird thing where you're going to get a redacted list of said secrets, and how that somehow relates to a federal government and Epstein? I still haven't
Good
seen
follow
that.
up, Chris. Good follow up, Chris. Good
Still
follow
haven't gotten
up.
that.
well, systematically, I'll tell you exactly how it goes. My past relationships are a lot like the government in the sense that they are mostly based on deception.
Oh,
So let's just start there, okay, guys?
Got it.
All right, so let's just start there. And then with that, I'll have to say that it's a lot like the government because oftentimes there is a lot of collateral damage and people in other places get hurt without us feeling the repercussions. But with that, I don't know. I just think we're never going to see anything. I don't think so. This is what I did want to say. I'm in New York and I'm having a steak and Puff Daddy's in jail. So, hey, Puff Daddy.
Yeah. Well, he's right down the street because he's in a
He's
jail
right down the
not
street.
too far, yeah.
Yeah, I should
too
call
far away.
J-Lo and see
With
what J-Lo's
Luigi.
doing. Yeah, I should call J-Lo and see what
Luigi.
J-Lo's
Why don't you
doing.
call Luigi?
Luigi Mangione, is he here too as well?
Yeah, he's in the
And
same
No, I
jail
don't
as
want
shit.
no
same
more
jail,
pizza. I'm tired of pizza. No more bread. This town has so much bread. I think if it flooded, the whole town would float. I've never seen so many carbs in within like a city block than I have seen in this town.
Yeah, any kind of donut you can think of. Any kind of donut.
Bakery
it's
after
ridiculous.
bakery,
I mean,
and then pizzeria, and then more
butter-
bakery,
the
and then
Buttercup-
bagel place. Hey guys, if
Buttercup
you need to
Bake
float
Shop.
across the river, here's a bagel. It's an entire a whole factory.
It's true.
It's a lot. I mean, we were talking about that, how it's probably difficult to import like fresh meat into the city because of, it's fucking 12 million people and it's ridiculous, but you can just bake all the bread you want. And so it's like, that makes sense. I mean,
Yeah, but there's tons of
Mike
steak.
is
There's
boiling
tons of
right now.
steakhouse right now. There's tons of steakhouses here. There's tons of meat here.
no,
Say that
dude,
all of the steak that
I'm
I've
sure
had
what I said
here,
was delicious. It was
every
amazing.
every piece of food that I've eaten in this city has been absolutely delicious, dude. No, no question. I'm not saying anything negative. I just know that I walked 2 miles and I was like, I need some eggs, and all I saw was pastries, and it was really difficult because the pastries look fucking delicious. I'm gonna shout out to like in all of these little shops, beautiful with a little coffee. Oh, dude, it was just really tempting. And I'm trying to, keep that girlish figure. So like I was looking for the hens, and so, but the pastries looked delicious. I just thought there was a lot of them, and they were everywhere. But which is cool because one of the things I noticed between like Los Angeles and San Diego and the West Coast and here is that like in concentrated areas here, there's a fucking bodega or like a grocery store or like a gourmet grocery store almost on every other block. And regardless of whatever neighborhood you're in. And like in California, I feel like they put the groceries far away for like on purpose. Like there is nothing. And like if you want this good and then you want this other thing organic, you got to drive like 45 minutes. Like
Yeah, there's no bodegas anywhere in San Diego.
I mean, California.
Yeah. How about you, Chris?
Well, I mean, I was kind of fascinated with the fact that we walked into some of these places and I was like, oh, there's like 1,000 donuts. That's great. And then I had zero desire to eat any of said donuts. And then Ricardo pointed out the one that had not Frosted Flakes. What's the fruity Pebbles?
Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, it had
Fruity
fruity,
Fruity
Pebbles.
Pebbles,
On it.
yeah,
He was like,
Fruity-
oh man, that looks amazing. And I was like, nothing about that looks good at all. Like I don't understand. So
Instant diabetes.
yeah, I feel like I don't understand sometimes because like I don't have Oreo cookies in my house because I'll eat the Oreo cookies, but I would never put a freaking Fruity Pebbles covered sprinkled donut in my house because I mean
It looked delicious.
I wouldn't eat it.
It looked
I wouldn't eat it.
beautiful.
At least I know how to trap
Fruity
Ricardo
Pebbles.
in the future. If I ever want to trap Ricardo in a bear trap, I'll just
That
put
and
a Fruity
propane.
Pebbles bagel. No,
And
that-
propane.
Yeah, the
I remember
propane
when I
thing is
ate
just
half of that apple pie and like left half of it in your burner. on your
Yes, half of it
stove.
was on the stove. Yeah. No, if it was an escape room with Ricardo and a grill
So
in
that
it,
was
and
great.
he had to cook a steak to get out of the room, and
He'll never get
the
out.
propane wasn't turned on yet, he would fail. Yeah, he would just
Yeah.
die.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, I was trying to cook steaks with no propane. It was cold as it
And
was
it was
cold
like
as a
3
motherfucker.
degrees outside.
Wait, but the best
So,
part
like-
about it is, Chris, you said it like 6 times to him, and he was like, "Yeah, no, I got 10 minutes until I have to flip the steak over."
It's like the propane.
That was on point.
Like, no, it'd
That
be
was
fine.
on-
It'd be great. It'd be cool. It was cool.
You know what? But I still beat you like 3 times at darts. So shut the fuck
Not
up.
me. Wasn't me.
I suck.
Mike.
At least I'll admit it. I beat you 1 time. Okay.
No, you beat
I
Shelby
fucking-
one time.
Yeah,
No, I
think you
beat
the-
Ricardo
I think
one
you
time.
beat the. No, you did not beat me.
Yeah, I
no,
did.
You
I
did
beat
not.
you
no,
one
no,
night.
No, 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 no.
No,
I will
don't
erase
take away
you
my
from the dart
don't
world.
fucking take
I will-
my accomplishment away from me. All right, I beat you
Don't
1 time.
try to stand on the shoulders of giants because it's not gonna work. Buddy.
I know you consider yourself as a giant because you're a fat ass. Okay, but calm down. You're not a giant when it comes to
I'll
fucking
take
darts.
that. I'll take that because I made a comment about your hairline, so I deserve it.
It's
So
all
I'll-
good. I know my hairline's going back.
Is anybody even watching our podcast anymore?
I can't see. I'm blind. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
You're
now.
no, you're not blind. You're fucking drunk.
I'm just really. I don't have my glasses.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Quite frankly,
I mean, it's been a solid 42 minutes. We didn't know, right? I mean, I feel like
42 minutes.
we're
we're
really
doing
just this this is a different podcast. Like we're just fucking
Why is it
around this
different?
time because we're fucking around, not even.
What do you mean
talking, like,
fucking
tip-
around?
Like joking around, talking about
What do you mean
yours.
jokes? Am I funny to you?
Oh, I see. Yeah, because you're sober. That sucks. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Did you not realize that we were gonna fly halfway across the country and then we're gonna have like a sober podcast? What's wrong with you?
No, we decided about 3 hours ago that we were just like, fuck it, we're just gonna drink and have some food and then show up and.
And if you had been with us, you would have known that.
All right, I get it. I get it. I get it.
That's
All right, I
that's
get
true. I
it.
mean, we
It's
didn't
only
really
because
do
we
it.
miss you.
We didn't really
How
do
does
it
it feel
in
to have
spite of you.
people like want you to be around?
Yeah,
It's supposed to be a
that's
really good
terrible.
feeling. It must be
That's
really
awful.
nice. Yeah, like nobody's like, hey Ricardo, I want you to come. No, but Mike, we miss you.
And
We want
not
you
only
to
that,
be
but
with
we
us.
we have expressed it live over several platforms that we wish you
There's
had been
a
here
good
today.
1 to
You've
2.
you expressed it for 25 minutes of this 43 minutes that we've been
Hey.
on this podcast.
Hey, so maybe it's
Mike.
important to us.
Tomorrow night, tomorrow I'll see you.
Do not give up, Mike. I know somewhere in some Eastern European country there's someone for you.
Fuck. Oh my god.
Maybe
I quit.
Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi.
Abu
That's pretty
Dhabi,
good.
yeah.
That was a good one. No,
There's
I'm
a-
not going to
there's a-
Dubai. So,
there's
Chris,
a-
Why
so
don't
have
we
you?
go to Dubai?
Attendant- there's an
No, let me
attendant
tell you.
at
Have you
Ferrari
heard about
World.
Chris's history of picking places? And so, like, he's not horrible at it, but like, he's really good at planning the thing. So this motherfucker's like, hey man, we should go and watch the World Cup in Qatar.
Oh,
Right.
that would have been dope.
Yeah. Then I was like, hey man, you realize that they're not selling alcohol at the World Cup in Qatar? I was like, I'm not going to the middle of the desert and not drinking.
drinking.
And he was like,
Yeah.
okay. And then he's like, we should go to Paris. And I was like, hey, man, Paris is on fire. And Paris is literally burning. And then he's like, we should go to Rome. And I'm like, hey, man, it's the middle of fucking August in Rome. It's like the hottest time ever. You went, though.
I went in November.
Was it? Oh, you went November. I think we. What did we?
A year to go.
Yeah. Those are some.
Who'd you go with?
By himself, right?
Myself and I, the best two people I know.
And then where did Chris go? He went to was it Vienna,
Austria.
right?
I went to Vienna. Yeah.
That was dope, right? You
I
liked
think it was great. Yeah, it was awesome. Saw the Freud Museum.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is stupid as fuck. Don't go. It was just Freud's apartment when he lived in Vienna.
Really?
Yeah, that's all it was. And there was like a bunch of shit that wasn't there when he lived there. They
Hey,
put
guess
it
what?
in there.
Hey, guess what? This is also Freud's apartment. Yeah,
Right,
totally
yeah,
is.
right. Yeah. And, no, Vienna was awesome, dude. The museums are great. I went to the National History Museum and the National Archives, and I mean, the city's beautiful. I just walked around and had some old fashions at night in the hotel. And actually, Ricardo and I talked a couple times.
Yeah, absolutely. We used to call him. It was a dope.
I had some homework to do too, so I was doing my homework.
Yeah, he was doing his paper. He was finishing up his master's when he was in Europe. I mean, he's a Chris is like, this is a Chris ready. Man, I just don't know how I can get out of bed every day. My life is awful. I mean, I have been an Eagle Scout and a Marine. Also, I have gotten my education completely paid for and lived in Europe and every country and traveled for free. Oh, I don't know how I'm going to make it, Ricardo.
Hey, hey, hemorrhoids is a silent killer.
I'm going to tell you, dude. I mean, you're way bigger than me, and you will knock me the fuck out. But if you weren't, I would slap the shit out of you sometimes and be like, "Wake up, man!"
I think we lost.
I think he cut himself out.
All
There we
I'm
go.
saying,
Now we
all I'm
got it.
saying
there
is
we go.
that love and affection.
Yeah.
He was talking about hate crimes just now, and thank God that he got muted. So
Yeah, shout out Susio. Shout out Mitch Dodge. Shout out Turbo. Shout out
Shout out Scorpion Percussion.
Percussion.
Scorpion
Yeah.
Percussion.
We need a real sponsor, I think, at some point.
Yeah.
We're getting there. I mean,
We'll get them.
what kind of sponsorships, Mike? Because Chris and I were talking earlier. So, like, what kind of sponsorship would you bring? Obviously, I'm going to probably bring alternative lifestyle / human trafficking, which is cool.
I feel like
Human trafficking? What the fuck?
I feel like Mike's niche would be like cock rings, right?
Cock rings?
cock
Like
ring
mosquito cocker.
Yeah, that's exactly my niche. 100%. Totally.
Oops. Yes.
You okay
No,
over
no.
there?
Yeah. I mean, like, it's a new mic. Just leave it alone, Mike.
I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty. It actually
It
is.
is,
Pretty good.
It's not. You think it's better than that? Because it's expensive one. I feel like it's a big pain in the fucking ass, right?
Well,
The
it's
big one that
cord,
you
man.
use?
Like cord.
It's just like brrrring, it always makes that noise
Yeah.
and shit, and like this is just like compact. Fuck it.
Yeah, and it's clearer too.
Yeah, the other one I can use for like recording, but I don't really give a fuck. So what else is going on here in in New York this weekend,
Diego.
guys? San Diego, Radio of the Future. That's really not very smart of me. Hey, so Adrian
Only said that for
Adams
48 minutes or something.
is running for mayor here.
Oh
right?
yeah. We looked it up. She's what was it? Senator.
Like city council chairman or something like that. Mike, you know anything about this?
Like a city
No.
senator, city congressman, state, like New York
State
State
or city?
congressman. No, like New York State congressperson, not like federal congressperson, but like New York State.
She's
Nah,
running
all I know
for-
is Andrew Cuomo put his hat in the ring for mayor of New York, which is quite comical to say the
Okay.
least.
All right.
Yeah, I don't understand how that's possible with the fucking Me Too and the whole COVID situation. He was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to now throw my hat in becoming the mayor of New York City. I just don't understand these politicians. Like, you left in disgrace, and now you think, all right, I'm going to go back. See, everybody's going to forget what happened like 3-4 years ago.
It's only been like 4 months. We'll just follow.
Yeah.
We forget about it.
Makes no fucking sense.
I mean, when you're a narcissist, it all makes sense.
I don't
Yeah,
know. I
that's a
mean,
good
I don't know
point.
what's going on. I don't think anybody's doing anything. I feel like people are like kind of skirting under the rocks, trying to avoid getting cut, like budget cuts and whatever the fuck is going on. I mean,
I feel like
prices are
not
still
enough
high.
people are doing that. Everybody's like, "Oh, please don't take my money," and you're like, "Well, wait, what are you using that money for?"
I mean, there's no like hiring sprees. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not
Yeah.
like the
You know,
businesses.
it's
Those types of businesses aren't growing. If anything, the cost of labor is growing up. So we'll see.
yeah,
We'll see
it's
what
interesting that
happens.
you said that because in January it's the highest amount of CEOs that left companies.
Yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
year in the last 20 years.
I mean,
What's
I
that
don't know.
about?
I mean, we talk about like bringing back manufacturing. We're talking about like all these types of nationalistic things. And like one of the things that I think people forget is that like a lot of these services that the America like peddles are speculative, right? And so like I really feel like people are hedging sort of some of the gas that's in a lot of the market and a lot of these prices that we're seeing, especially in stocks. Because, like, we always talk about, like, and I'm sure Jeff hates this because we talk about things over and over again. But is that, like, for me, it's like, when you have companies that aren't really producing goods and services, right? What you have is a big speculative bubble. And so like some of that air has to fly out, man. Like we gotta let a little bit out of it because otherwise, what's going to happen is there's going to be a much harder, I think, adjustment in the market because like a lot of these companies, like Nvidia is good. Like we're seeing some of these things, but like a lot of these other blue chips that we've been seeing for a while, like they're trading much at ridiculous rates of what kind of revenue they're bringing in. And so what that tells me is like they're trading on speculative future gains, and that those aren't guaranteed, I don't think, anymore.
No, I agree 100%. I think the stock market's been bloated for how many years now? We've all talked about this over and over again, but it's uh, investment. Investing is not anymore about fundamentals. It's about what is like the future, and if this company actually brings value in the future, even though right now there's no value that they are giving to the market or the economy or anything. So yeah, there's definitely been a correction. If and Ricardo, you called it. There's definitely been a correction over the last month with everything that's going on. Fucking markets getting hammered, and a lot of these companies are coming back down to corrective, like stock prices.
Yeah, I mean, like when my prediction on was based basically, like I think I talked to you guys about this even before we started the podcast, like on three factors, right? Like one of the factors important was for me was the fact that like the Trump corporate tax cuts would expire, right? And we had no idea whether or not there was going to be who was going to be in the House, right? And so like I was like, okay, they're going to expire. We can't speculate. The other thing was like some of these other inflationary pressures that we've discussed earlier, and so like the fact that Trump got elected, and so I think he's like, trying to extend some of these cuts, may have offset that, but what brought that back was the fact that he implemented tariffs, and so like okay, great. So now even though you're still cutting the rate for corporate taxes in America, which is great for companies that are based in America. But when we're talking about affecting prices, and then now you have tariffs too, right? Okay, so like that, I think kind of offsets that. It affects two very distinct groups separately, but like the consumer is still kind of getting the same effect from both sides. Like, great, yes, domestic benefits, and then punish external, but I'm still not getting any price relief. Is kind of where I'm coming from.
Gotcha. Yeah. So let me ask you guys a question. The females that you've seen in New York, how would you rate them compared to San Diego and Indianapolis?
Oh man,
Horrible, right?
Chris is asleep. I was awake at 7:30 in the morning. There are some beautiful women out there. Shout out to the girls in New York who are out in the morning, jogging, pretending to go to work, looking all snooty and getting coffee. And the best part about New York is that although people have dogs, not everyone has a dog. Like, I feel like in order to come into California, you got to bring a dog. Like, where the fuck are all these dogs coming from? And so the good thing is that like there are not a lot of dogs, but lots of hot girls, lots of pretty girls. I feel like they're taller and
Oh
not
yeah,
as
I
like
felt like I saw more taller girls here, for sure.
yeah. West Coast girls are great. Yeah, I think they're cool. I just totally different vibe out here. Like a lot of professionals. Definitely good vibe.
Yeah. What do you think, Chris?
I was not impressed, but I didn't talk to that many, so we'll see how the weekend goes. Definitely saw a couple smoke shows, but not a lot.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think New York women work on taking care of themselves a lot more. Always hair done, nails done, and their fashion sense is usually phenomenal. They always are up on like kind of the trends, making sure, and they also have expensive taste. One thing I noticed about the West Coast is women are just naturally, because of feature wise, I think they're, and the weather, they're naturally a little bit better looking. But
I feel like
I
there's
think
more variety. Like I feel like what you're saying, like West Coast girls all want to achieve the same look. I want to be a Barbie. Like that's the look, right?
Yeah.
But out here, I feel like people take more better care of themselves, and so it's like, hey, this is one way to look beautiful, but like totally different. So there's a lot of different types of beautiful, but people are more focused on like taking care of themselves. And like out west, it's more about like, hey, if I don't look like Barbie, what do I need to do to change my look to look like
to look
Barbie?
by Barbie. Yeah.
Well, I feel like what you guys are describing is not necessarily a difference between taking care of yourselves, it's just how they take care of themselves. I feel like in San Diego, because you're naked, and the emphasis is on physical fitness.
I wear clothing in San
And
Diego.
in New York, it's all about like how you signal your, intelligence or wealth. So they take
Yeah.
care of themselves with, makeup and hair and, clothing and all other things, not so much
Yeah.
the spandex. So
No, good point, Chris.
just
I agree
different
with you.
mechanisms for the same thing.
How about Indianapolis?
In between.
In between. What was that, Ricardo? 50-50?
I mean, Indianapolis is good. There's some cute girls there. I got to tell you, I know Chris has not been out. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of many more attractive women in New York than there are in
Well, yeah,
Indianapolis.
12 million people versus
By
800,000 people. So, I mean,
Yeah, I think there's like as many people as in Indianapolis in 6 blocks from where we are. Right. So
yeah,
like,
there's more people in Soho than there are in Indiana. But
and it's also like what you find attractive, right? And so like, I think on the West Coast, there's a higher emphasis on like the way you look physically, right?
Right.
I'm not saying that you have to look good or bad, right? But like, I think it's like there's not a lot else there. How do I, right? And so like, I think here people take care of themselves, but it's not like the only thing. People are just like, no, I only look good naked. No, I also have an opinion. I'm charming. I have, like history and like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, I think that
well, it's
part.
not the first thing.
What's that?
It's not the first thing. So,
Right.
like, in San Diego, it's like the first thing. Like you basically see everything. And so you
I mean,
get to
on the
decide
West Coast,
here-
the only like the first thing is, what do you look like naked? Period.
right? Period.
Yeah. You want a job? What do you look like naked? Yeah.
So, but here, people aren't signaling that way. They're signaling like their wealth or their intelligence or their beauty based on their facial
Or just something
structure.
different. I mean, like, or just something.
Yeah, it's not just
something
physical
not that.
attractiveness. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
I don't know what
Um,
Mike's trying to do over there, but it's fine.
What? What am
What?
I trying to do?
Mm-hmm.
What did you say?
Sure. Yeah. How do you feel?
How do you feel, Mike?
I definitely think it's the West Coast is more about physical appearance than anything else. I feel like New York is more appearance, but it's also fashion and career oriented. I feel like West Coast women have less of a career, like a professional career. So they focus and harp on their physical ability and their physical beauty, which
We're
is
getting
kind
canceled.
of. No,
That's excellent. I didn't. You're totally right. You're totally right. I mean, like, I think the women on the West Coast don't have a lot more to offer. At least, like, not that they don't have a lot more to offer, but they don't have that perspective. Like out here, there's a lot more career-oriented people that are living in the city
Yeah.
than on the beach. How's that?
Yeah, I feel like the East Coast is more career oriented. With women, just in general, it's about becoming, a nurse or becoming a lawyer or becoming a teacher. Like they have like goals like that and a lot of different perspectives. They find kind of their attractiveness and identity through now careers as well. So that's a bonus. I feel like West Coast, most of the women that I met in San Diego or just in general, they were focused more on like, being influencers or models or stuff that had to do with physical beauty in total.
Yeah, I feel like I'm a hand model also.
No, you're not.
I know.
No.
Show me that diamond. Show me that diamond. Oh,
Shout
there it
out
is. Hand model right there.
Cobra. I agree with you 100%. I think so too. Like, and like, I think that, like it's about the well-roundedness. It's also about survival. And like, we were talking a little bit about this earlier, and it's just like, I feel like, how do I say this? Like, maybe females out here in New York are a little more in tune to connecting and to pairing because the environment isn't so pleasant, right? And so, like, if you live in a kind of a little bit of a harsher environment, then it's a little bit easier to get by when you have a partner. But when like it's 70 degrees all the time and you don't have to pay for anything, then you really need a partner to help you out with, your lifestyle. So I do think that there's a little bit of that involved as well. So it's like, hey man, it's freezing, dude, and like it's violent. Do you want a home and protection? Cool. Or like it's really busy. Like we can do this better together. But if you're just like living on the beach and tanning, you don't really need anybody to help you out, right? So
Well, I feel like part of that too is like in the Midwest and the East Coast, it's like every year you have COVID for 3 months out of the year
Yeah.
where you're like stuck inside
Yeah.
and like you can't go anywhere. And so, like, do you want to be stuck inside when it's cold and you can't do anything with the significant other that you like, or would you rather do it alone? So, like, I feel like everybody's just playing the how do I not get stuck inside for the winter alone every year?
Yeah. By myself. Yeah.
excellent. Absolutely. I mean, like, San Diego, no.
You don't have to worry about that. You don't ever get stuck inside ever. So you don't need to have somebody.
I also believe that the coasts are for playboys, right? Like coastals, like the coast, like the nice coast, not like the cold coast, but the warm coast, like the Rivieras. They're for playboys and rich guys because it's just going to attract like really, really attractive women that don't necessarily want to work, right? And so like it's kind of like, okay, when you make it, that's where you go, and then that's the exchange that happens. But I don't think it's for like people who are trying to like hang out and live a normal life. I don't really think that's feasible. I think California tries to make that sort of like a conjunction, right? Where it's like, okay, like I have a normal job and I also have a family, but I'm living like I am a playboy, right? Like I have like a house by the beach and
I
doing all
drive this car. Yeah.
Exactly, man. Like going to see David Guetta or whatever, going to the Cross Festival. Like, it's like, no, dude. Like, like normally when you have a wife and a kids and a family, that's your job, right? But it's like, no, but I also live on this Riviera like I'm a fucking playboy. Like, no, if you're going to go to California, the guys that are going to have fun are the playboys. Just like convertibles are for playboys, beach cities are for playboys, right? And families like twice a year. But do you know what I'm saying? So like, like it's never gonna. I don't think you'll ever get the same fulfillment, especially like if you want to start a family, because like part of starting a family is protecting that family and making sure that the interests of that family are seen into the future. And like living on the coast, that's not ever going to be the best option. I'm just gonna not even just economically. Let's put it that way, right?
Yeah. What about yeah, I would probably say like that's the San Diego, LA, Miami like type of environment because you go to those areas realistically it's so expensive and you see the type of crowd of people and it kind of like fits into what Ricardo's saying. Like Miami's known for its money and it's known for pretty much basically older men, younger women, kind of like a setup or men that are just trying to have fun living like, their best life to say the least.
Yeah, or just guys that love shuffleboard or bright colors.
Or yeah, that's a good point. Good
Or
point.
or like, there's like the Jimmy Buffett people. No offense to those people. No offense to those people. I'm not like a Jimmy Buffett or.
What were you saying, Chris?
No, I was just gonna. We had a significant for us significant engagement from our audience this week about housing and minimum wage. And so the reel that we put out, that Ricardo put out about housing and how housing is expensive, and somebody brought up wages are not keeping up with housing costs and how that should be considered right in this whole housing crisis sort of thing. And I countered with, of course, minimum wage is definitely not keeping up like
100%.
it should. I mean, that's obviously lower than it needs to be. But there are examples, like Seattle, for instance, where if you just jack up minimum wage overnight, then it's not necessarily good, like overall. Like some people will benefit, some people will benefit, of course, but there will be jobs lost to automation and other things as a result of this overnight inflation of the minimum wage. And so we're trying to have a conversation about how, like, yeah, it should be increased, but there needs to be a method to the madness, and maybe we should take a look at some of these places like Seattle as an example of like what went well and what didn't go well, and how to like mitigate some of these things, because I feel like the system is broken for sure, but let's just not throw a bunch of eggs at the fan and pray. Let's like take a look and kind of but yeah, I don't know your guys' thoughts on the whole minimum wage thing and how it's definitely a broken system that needs to get fixed. But
Yeah, well, over a 30-year period, minimum wage has not
no,
kept up. And you can't all of a sudden correct that by raising minimum wage to $25, $30 an hour. That doesn't correct the
No.
problem as well.
yeah,
Carter,
some people will benefit, of course, but some people will get more hurt than benefited just by throwing it into the roof overnight.
Yeah, I mean, like I think like how do I say this? It's not
Okay,
it's
here
not
we
it's
go.
not like a difficult thing. No. I think like so from where I see it, like the incentivization platform is sort of a little bit one that like will require some evolution, and it's just not about just like being an individual contributor, right? And so like the minimum wage is always going to be sort of less than the yield of the product that it's used as the input, right? As the
Right.
output, right? That's how businesses grow, right? And if the output is less than the input, then the business doesn't grow and there's no
Right.
jobs at all. And so,
Right.
like, let's start there. And so, like, I think as an economist, like, I would imagine the perspective would be like, okay, nobody's got a job. Let's create jobs. Okay. And
Right.
so now we have jobs and we have goods and services that are being exchanged at a level where profitability is sustainable for growth and other people are still able to pay for a standard of living. All right. All right. So like we're at that point where it's like, and I would call that like sort of like the baseline, right? And so like imagine now that you're getting paid $200,000 a year to make a product that sells for $9.99, or whatever, right? Like that economic model is never going to be sustainable, and so a lot of people get frustrated, right? And so they shouldn't. And so the economic model is there to incentivize them to, instead of becoming an individual contributor, to create businesses. Because remember, capitalism isn't just about individual workers, it's about capital and entrepreneurship and growing in markets. And so capitalism rewards capitalists, and being a drone is not being a capitalist.
Right.
And so the point is that minimum wage fluctuates. However, the state should decide. I don't give a shit, but it's never going to be more than the cheeseburger, guys, right? And if you really want to make money, then you have to learn while you're getting paid to learn, not just how to do the business, but to create your own value, right? And that's the only way you can step up. And I think that's part of the American dream, because it's not selfish, because that way creates more jobs and more opportunities for people. And I think that's the way that it should be.
Yeah, and also going back to the housing prices, it's also based on supply and demand in an element. Also, it depends in another perspective where you're looking to buy homes. Like I could tell
Right.
you the where I'm living in the area that I live in, the demand to live in those areas is very high. So people can basically demand those prices. Now, look at
Really,
who's
Jersey Shore is selling.
yeah, I live in Jersey Shore. Shake
Oh,
my
that's.
head.
Oh wait, you don't? Oh,
No, I don't live in Jersey Shore.
sorry. We thought you were Jersey trash.
Wow, I have a lot of friends from Jersey. They would they
Fucking
would
Jaeger
beat the
bombs.
shit. Oh yeah,
Jaeger bombs,
that is
Jaeger
a great
bombs, Jaeger bombs,
Jaeger bombs.
Jaeger
Jaeger
bombs,
bombs,
Jaeger bombs.
drops
Not
it
now.
in.
Not now, Chief. I'm in the fucking zone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was actually a great one. But yeah,
You know
it
what
depends
Jesus
on the
wants when he
area.
comes back? Jaeger bombs.
Jaeger bombs.
Yeah. Yeah, it just depends on the areas. The problem is like in my area, I can tell you that you have to look at who has the capital, like Ricardo was saying, and it's not the younger generation; it's the older generation that has hoarded the capital, and
Yeah,
the younger
the boomers.
generation, yeah, the boomers hoarded it. And I hate to say this, and
Hoarding
people,
present tense.
yeah, and they don't like to hear this, but they're heavily responsible for where we are as
All right.
society right now.
This is what I'm going to say, and I'm sorry to cut you off. Can you imagine if we took all the money that we printed to send to Ukraine and injected it only internally into our economy,
Yeah.
not with government programs, as capital to help businesses grow and products bring prices down and what drill and do whatever else we fucking need to live. Instead of sending it overseas, if we had spent all that money drilling, making gas cheaper, creating more jobs, bringing nuclear, bringing energy down, right? Like, how much of an economic impact would it have had? Instead, we printed a whole bunch of fucking money and threw it basically right back into the river with defense contractors.
Yeah, we would have a lot of money.
190 billion is a lot of money. I mean, you can do a lot with that. So it's kind of
Yeah.
tragic.
Yeah, and
But-
USAID
Sorry.
and the USAID money as well.
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
that's just crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
USAID, who knows?
What do you guys think about this timber executive order on that housing market thing?
What was it again? It was
So Trump basically was opening up federal land for lumber to drive housing prices down, for housing costs down to build for building.
Okay, so first thing I want to ask is, can you show me the fact that the lumber costs directly affect housing prices in a in a direct manner, and like that it's proportional?
I don't know. Yeah,
That's like saying, hey man, nails are what are driving up interest rates. Let's get the nails to be cheaper.
yeah,
well, I mean, I think the point being that we import stuff for building like lumber, and so maybe we get it in house more. It'll be cheaper. Obviously, I'm not in the lumber
disagree.
industry, so I don't know.
I
think
disagree. I'm
the-
a climate activist, and I don't think we should be cutting trees down because of the CO2.
I agree with you,
how
Mike.
dare you? How dare
So
you?
what I'm going to say, what Chris was talking to me about earlier, is that, like, you know what, man? What I would do is say, hey, look, if you're going to buy wood from another country to build stuff in the U.S., it's going to be like 8 times more expensive. But if you buy and build with steel that's made from Indiana, it's going to be real cheap for your ass. So fuck Brazil. Sorry.
Well,
I love your women and your soccer players, but
What I find just so hypocritical about the whole thing is that like we're still cutting the wood down. I mean, we're still cutting
Yeah.
the trees down. It's like if we cut the trees down in Brazil, then it's not going to impact global warming. But if we cut the trees down in the U.S., then it's going to impact global warming. So
I'm going to tell you
Hey.
guys,
It's going to change everything. It's going to be 100 degrees warmer every day.
I'm cool with that, dog. We have a whole 2 sides of the earth that are frozen.
hey, man, it'll be fine once we annex Canada. Then we'll have a bunch more forests. So.
I don't
Yeah.
know, man. Like, do we get crepes? I love crepes. If we get Canada, do we get crepes? I love
Dude,
those things.
if Nutella becomes cheaper because we annex Canada, I'm okay with that.
So we were in Vegas at the Happen show.
Shout out
Happens.
Scorpion Percussion.
I think I told you about this last time. This woman from Canada was like super upset about all these like.
Oh, by the way, we're on Spotify. Thank you,
tariffs.
Ricardo.
Oh yeah, hey guys. So check us out on Spotify. We just got on. It's
shut off
awesome.
midway. You just shut off midway.
That's it. I'm really happy about that, man. It was cool. So shout out, thanks to Tim and Corey and all those guys at Spotify that helped us out. And I don't know, we're on Spotify, guys. So find us there.
We might not be after this episode, but
I don't know. This is like a fun episode. We'll be
Yeah.
back next week with serious stuff. But we're in New York,
Yeah.
and Mike looks like he may have seen the Chucky movie once or twice.
Well, I think the problem is that Ricardo and I are just we're chomping at the bit, just ready to go back out and go
because
party.
we were shout out Lucky Steakhouse in
That shit was
Soho.
delicious.
Delicious. I had some oysters. Oh man.
By the way, we're
going
not
for-
walking anywhere, Ricardo. We're gonna taxi because I'm fucking cold as shit.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. This motherfucker's like, hey man, If we
man.
walk, yeah,
Hey,
exactly. If
man.
we walk 17.7 miles to get the microphone, we would have like burned off
man.
8 calories. I'm like, bro, we're getting in a fucking taxi.
Well, we were gonna go to
I'm
the
not
gym,
walking
and
it.
then
I already,
didn't
we
go to
walked
the gym.
11 miles already, dog.
And I was like, hey, if we're not gonna go to the gym, then we should walk more because that's how you counter it, right?
Would you say you're calling in sick tomorrow, Mike? You can come out and meet us. What?
I have a
Oh,
I have a
shit. Is
deposition
that
at
what happened?
11 o'clock.
Oh fuck! Jesus Christ! Son. It's
A
just-
dep-
You guys,
look-
like, this is the problem. They
What's the
schedule these
problem?
Out. So court conferences and depositions, they schedule this shit out in months in advance. So
Oh,
it's
and
not
you
like
think I bought the fucking tickets a couple days ago? I bought that shit like 3 months ago. So
Booyah! I mean, booyah!
look at the tumor on the bottom
put your
of his
tumor
shoe.
down. Put your tumor. No one see your tumor.
Love these shoes now more that Chris hates them. I'm just gonna wear them
I
everywhere.
fucking-
Shout
they're
out
so
Camper Store Soho.
Oh my god!
Just shout out
this
everything.
This poor woman. He was like,
Shout out Mitch Dodge.
This poor woman. He was just holding her a pitchfork, telling her a story about Buddha while he was buying the shoes.
And she gave me her number. She's probably watching.
Yeah,
now
she
doesn't
had
know.
to. She had no other choice. It was that or death.
No, it was not
So-
at all. She was really charmed, I
Pulling her
guess. I didn't
hostage.
do. I was buying shoes. What can I do?
It reminds me of the Caddyshack thing where the guy's like, where he's holding the pitchfork to his neck, and he's like, and so he's telling the story about how he met Buddha. He played golf with Buddha or whatever. And so, Gunga Gunga, which means, when I die, I'll reach total consciousness. So I got that going for me. And the kid's just like, oh my God, yeah. He's holding the pitchfork to his neck. And he's like, can I have your number? And she's like, oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Here.
I mean, Chevy Chase. I like that.
Alright.
That was a good movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
So, Mike, where should we go after this? That's not Lucky's because we already went to Lucky's, but I'm probably already hungry again, dude. And I just had what do we? What
I gave you a
size-
couple spots.
New
Go
York.
to Bleecker.
12-ounce New York strip.
If you're
Yeah, go to
watching
Bleecker.
this and you know where Mike lives, go to his house and tell him to give us good suggestions.
Knock on his door.
Mike,
Go to
no
Bleecker
last
Street.
name. That's how
Yeah.
you look him up.
And he's from Jersey Shore. So probably lives
Yep.
next to Snooki.
No,
So,
she lives upstate New York.
knock on
She,
the house
fucking-
next to Snooki's house.
This
Yeah,
guy.
both left, and I'm not sure if it's the left side or the right side. So just knock
So
on all the doors around
Prince
Snooki's
Street
house.
is what we should go. Prince Street.
No,
Look
Spring.
at
I mean, it's like
Spring,
one block.
Bleecker.
Oh,
Prince-
Spring Street.
Prince was
Bleecker.
trash. So Spring Street.
I mean, you went
Yeah.
from like here to like just what? There was trash. Like there was nothing.
I looked down the street and I saw nothing except for trash.
I
Literal
mean, I know
trash.
you sound really convincing right now, but okay, let's go Spring Street then.
How many
Check
times
out
have we
Bleecker
been
Street
around the
as well.
city and I'm like, hey, we should go in this place, and you're like, oh, this place is awesome.
Okay,
It's the same thing. If I look down the street and I see, I don't want to go down the street. we
kudos,
shouldn't go down the
kudos.
street.
Okay, and also 100%. But also, how many times have I done that? Tell.
Never. Does ever have it. So,
Just Decimo. Oh my God, the guy
dude, Decimo was great.
Okay, you're
I've been
welcome.
there.
You're
You know how many
welcome.
times I've been there?
You're welcome.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
You're fucking welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah, because while
Three-
Chris
three
is in his
times, 4
room,
times?
because when Chris is in his room being like, I don't want to talk to any human beings, I fucking walk around the city at 7 a.m. I did the same thing in London. I check the shit out. I
Yeah,
find
Ricardo
stuff.
always does that.
No,
He
no,
always do
no,
that.
no, no. I'm the on the ground guy. Chris plans it. He's like, this is how we're gonna get here. This is where we're gonna go. This is why we're gonna go during this time. This is how we're gonna execute. This is Alpha, Delta, Bravo, and then also here you go. And we get there, and as soon as the mission is there, he's totally chill. Then he's like, I have no idea what to do.
Terminator
And then
turns
I
off.
go out into the street and like go out and do like, hey, this is what we gotta do. There's a bowling alley here. There's a strip club over here. I think there's you can shoot some cattle down the road.
We don't go to strip clubs, just to be clear.
Yeah, that's true. But craps table, we did find the only craps table in London. Shout out London. No more craps tables in London anymore, I guess.
There's not one. It used to be there and then it closed down.
What was the name of that place? It was in Covent Gardens or or Piccadilly or where was it? The circus?
It's
Was it-
Higgdragon or Higgadrome.
Yeah. Shout out
Higgadrome?
Higadrome in London. Bring back craps.
Something Drome. Yeah, it was a great place. I last time I went there, I put some money down on Black 13 and hit. So, I had to cash out and leave before they got me on my taxes in the UK. So,
Mike, you look like you're like a paraplegic and that you're like not moving, but like when you push a button,
Yeah,
you
one of
get
those-
like
you get
one
one
of
of
those
those
you get
straws
fed
that
like
you,
yeah,
like-
like exactly. Like get fed
Yeah.
through a straw.
or
Not paraplegics.
Mike, you got anything? No rebuttal. Nothing.
No, I think
what'd
he's
you
dead. He's got a deposition in the morning. Who's? Can you
sorry, Mike.
give
No,
us the
I'm trying to-
details?
I'm trying
Can
to
you
remember.
do it
Can you
illegal?
at least, like,
I'm
Pound a
trying
Red
to
Bull real quick or
remember-
something.
No, I'm trying
Mike,
to
can you jump in?
remember.
Can you
Oh,
jump in
shut the
Chris's
fuck
cold
up.
plunge? Cold plunge?
Shut
Can you jump in Chris's cold
Yeah,
plunge?
yeah,
Oh, you
yeah.
can't. That's why. You know why? Because he doesn't have it yet. Listen, guys, if you're out there and you sold my friend Chris this bullshit cold plunge 7.5 months ago, my poor friend works very hard for his money, and he ordered this cold plunge from your piece of shit company, and he hasn't received anything in months. He received a pump. If you guys know this company, Chris, what it's called, can you please
Odin.
fuck this
Odin.
company? Yeah, what's it called? Odin?
Odin. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
Odin.
if you're listening, and can you shout out to this company, Odin? It took forever, bro. You could just told him it's going to take 1.5 years, and that you were also going to get Santa Claus to make most of the shit, because that's how long it's fucking taking for my guy. And he
How
lives
long-
in India
how
now.
long
He could
has it
just
been?
walked outside. It's really bad, dude.
I don't know, man.
I'm really mad at
Honestly.
this company
I feel like I ordered in August. I feel like that's true.
of 08.
Of 04. Yeah. 2024. I have the cooler, so I have the most expensive piece.
What, just for the people out there who don't have cold plunge experience, what's a cooler?
The part that cools the water and filters it.
You're a fucking genius. You're a
You must
scholar.
be like an engineer or
mean-
something.
Yeah, are you like
yeah,
a
it's crazy.
diapers engineer?
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't call it, like the thumper or something, because that would have nothing to do with what it did. But
So Chris and I bought a bottle of wine to sneak, and we snuck it in here in my jacket because there's no alcohol.
and
left.
then he was too
Shout
much of a
out, no
pussy
needed.
to pull it down and open it up, so we aren't drinking.
No,
any
I'm
of it
not.
right
I
now.
was hammered and I was setting up the podcast, and so I forgot to bring.
I
it
was
down.
waiting in your room for like 5 minutes because I thought, because
You
guess
heard
what
it
was
here
in-
first.
it
He was
was
waiting in my
there.
room for 5 minutes. That's weird.
in the bed. I was like, oh, there's a bottle of wine still here, so Ricardo has to be coming back.
I don't want to
So-
know where that bottle has been, but yeah,
Like,
but yeah. I don't know. This is a cool place. I like it. It used to be like a thing for vets, so like where vets would have a place to stay, and that's how like the whole hostel thing started. So, and I think a company bought it, and it's not necessarily a hostel, like a hotel-y thingy, but it's dope down here in Soho. Shout out anyone who's in Soho.
It's cold though. It's super fucking cold. It's like 33 right now, and I don't want to go outside.
I have that huge jacket. I mean, we could just chill right here. Hey, you guys want to come over to the No Leader spread?
All two people.
If you're in New York,
Is
yeah,
anybody
roll
even
over.
still watching this anymore?
Yeah, yeah. Fuck, I think a few 4 or 5 people in the chat.
Well, if you're still watching, you're a brave soul. Thank you for putting up with us this time.
Hey, Ricardo, do you want to give a shout out for Spotify now? The appropriate time?
Yeah. We're on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
We have been now for what, 4 days?
Yes.
Cocaine. is
What do you
all
want me to
over
say?
people.
Yeah, no. Shout out to
Cocaine and Special
Spotify.
K are a bad mix. So
I'm not doing any of those things. I had a steak.
well, you look like you are.
I mean, that's just because you shine the light in my face like a cop. 'Cause, like,
Is that
yeah,
better?
that's awful. No, that's really bad. Anyways, but yeah, no. I mean, so we're gonna go back out. Thanks for joining us. I think.
Unless you got anything, Mike.
Unless you got anything, Mike.
Closing. You're the sober one, so.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Ricardo and Chris right now are gonna go out and get some more alcohol. They're living their life in New York while I'm sitting here in my place. Tomorrow we'll be together. Thanks for tuning in. We are
Together
now on
forever.
Spotify. We have X, Instagram. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Later, guys.
Loving
Thanks for
nobody but